Hello?
Hey, Joe. Nick Patry here, your co-host on Cold Cans. How's it going?
Yeah, I know. There's caller ID now. It's a cell phone, so it's built in. There's not even caller ID. So I know
So
it's you.
you knew it was me. Oh, okay. Okay, Nick Patry
Sure.
here, co-host of Cold Cans. Hey, Joe. It's
Yeah.
getting.
Oh, hey, Nick.
Hey, Joe. It's getting late in the week here, and we haven't recorded a new Cold Cans this week. What should we do?
No, we haven't. Let me spitball for us for a little bit. How about
Spitball,
we
Joe.
take the show on the road and we air all of our recorded episodes that we've done through all the various places we've been, starting with Wisconsin when you went home and visited our mutual friend Casey.
Joe, I think you're onto something. You're saying we tap into the backlog from our travels.
Blast from the past, baby.
I think that's a great idea, and I think the listeners, they're going to love it.
I think so, too. They better, or fuck them. You and Casey drank Leine's. We should probably rank it then.
Yeah, let's throw it on the old rankings, because Casey and I didn't take the time. We were not qualified. We didn't have our guy, Joe Glock, on the caller ID for that episode, so we couldn't do a proper rating.
As you made it abundantly clear, you don't care about the rankings to begin with, so the onus is on.
Yes, the onus is on the Jonas. Joe Jonas is what I call you.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, let's rank this. Leine's
Leine's
O. Leine's original.
Right, original. It feels like that's up there, right? Leine's. Oh, God. How about right ahead of Torpedo Extra IPA?
Yeah, let's do it. I thought about it, and I think that's a great spot for it, Joe.
Well, thanks for calling. I got to go back to fucking work now.
Hey, Joe, have fun at work. I'm got my nose on the grindstone as well, so.
All right. Talk to you later, you and the listener.
Hey, everybody. Nick here. Just wanted to welcome you to a very special edition of Cold Cans. We're calling it Road Buddy Edition. That's right. I'm no longer in Seattle. I'm on the road in central Wisconsin. Here with our Snapchat guru, our boots on the ground, our ass on the seats in every bar in America, Casey. Hey, Casey.
Hey, how's it going?
Doing well. What do you have for us?
Well, I'm Casey. I'm running the Snapchats. It seems like it's going all right from what I've heard, but I'm going around bars, drinking beers, drinking mixies, icing myself. I'm sure you've seen them on Snapchats if you got it. If you haven't, go to Cold Cans Pod on Snapchat and follow me. Probably see, people getting pretty plowed up. That's just ridiculous, really.
So it's Cold Cans Pod on Snapchat. That's where the people will find you.
That's where the people will find me. I'll be drunk 6 to 7 nights a week. Hopefully not.
All right, folks, you heard it in the intro. We're in central Wisconsin today. Nick here with Casey, and we're drinking a Wisconsin classic, Leinenkugel's Original. Cheers.
Cheers. God, that is the best song in the history.
It really is. So Leinenkugels is brewed in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, which is pretty much northern Wisconsin, about halfway from where we are now to Minnesota. That's not a bad beer.
No, it's...
Do you have what's your memories of Leinenkugels Original or Leinenkugels in general? What do you associate it with? Birth?
I wouldn't say birth, but I will say this, that here in central Wisconsin where we're sitting, I mean, we do have a Linepalooza every year. It's, a lot of Lineys.
What does that entail? Yeah.
Well, it entails every possible flavor of Leinenkugels you can think of. a lot of drunk people, but no, I mean, Leine's O is probably, it's probably one of my favorite ones
Of all time.
Yeah, probably of all time. I don't know.
How often would you say you drink Leinenkugels Original?
I'll say I drink one probably at least once a week,
Okay.
for sure. There'll be days where
Quarter barrel a week or one can? One cold can?
One cold can. I mean,
Okay.
when I come into the bar and there's days where I don't really know what I want to drink, I'm usually like a Captain Coke or Limon water drinker, but there's days where I come in the bar and I'm like, God, I kind of want a beer. And I don't want to just resort to like the Busch Lights or the Bud Lights. So
Sure.
I'm looking at, the premium section and I say, okay, it's either...
And this ain't there.
Yeah.
So it's next to that premium section.
Just to be honest with you, at the bar that I go to most often, this is a premium $3.50 beverage.
Top of the line. This is $3.50?
$3.50.
Jesus.
I don't want to slander the bar that I...
Sure, I'm sure it's a reasonable price.
But, it's all right.
Yeah, I'm not a big drinker of this normally. When I lived in Wisconsin still, I drank a lot of like summer shandy during the summers. That's also Leinenkugel's beer. And like you said, they have a lot of varieties. If you're going to have them all available at what is it? Leinepalooza?
Leinepalooza, yeah.
Leinepalooza. So do they have taps of all these different beers?
Yeah, so they actually bring a Leine's truck right in there. I think I know inside the bar they got, I think it's like 4 tappers of, summer shandy, Berry Weiss. I think the truck's got like 14 tappers, but they have, like the special editions and stuff like that. But
yeah, this year they released some kind of special edition that they were doing a collaboration with München Brewery in Germany or something like that. And it was pretty good. I had it. It's the anniversary lager. You know what? Let me pull up a link and give our listeners some more information.
You do that.
So it's a collaboration with Hofbrau München. Pronunciation pending. We'll see. We'll see about that one.
You need to shape up a little bit too.
And it's they're celebrating Leinenkugel's 150th anniversary with a blend of German tradition and American ingenuity. So there you go. Embracing our German roots here in Wisconsin. And that's pretty good copy. This entire website, the Leinenkugel's website, has pretty good copy. They got about 15 different beers on here, each with its own tailored copy. And on these cans here, because we're always on the search for good copy. Casey, you want to take a stab at reading that? I don't have my glasses on. I can't quite get it.
Yeah. But if you got a copy, we can watch the copy. I just wanted to say that for so long. I don't know why. It's a road trip reference. Check it out when you have spare time. Road Trip. It's a quote from Road Trip.
Oh, yeah. The movie Road Trip.
Tom Green. Tom Green. Because they got the I don't know, like they sent out the picture of those, the 2 people having sex or whatever, and it like they were sending it in the mail, and for some reason like he sent it to the wrong address, and I don't know, and then he lost this VHS, and Tom Green comes in there and he goes, "Well, do you got a copy? Because if you got a copy, we can watch the copy."
I am not familiar with that. Well, 57% on Rotten Tomatoes, by the way. Road Trip. Check it out now.
Yeah, Tom Green gets a python to the throat.
I'm sold.
It's funny. But yeah, so here we go. Leine's Chippewa Pride beer. When Jacob Leinenkugel started his brewing in 1867 in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, his kettle in Wisconsin.
Good pacing.
His kettle was brimming with beer he considered to be good as gold, as Joey Glock would say, Blatz. He loves Blatz.
Yeah, Joey's a big Blatz guy. We're hoping to review that soon on the pod.
Almost 150 years later, we're still proudly brewing the same quality beer Jacob did so many years ago. This packaging is inspired by design from the 1950s as a salute to our heritage. So take a sip of the beer that started the Leine's legacy and join us out here.
Join us out here. And that's their registered trademark slogan. Join us out here. It's pretty good. I don't mind that copy.
No, it's a
What say you?
Well, I think it's a decent copy. It probably would have been a little bit better if someone a little bit, more solid of a reader like myself would have been able to do. But,
well, you're a half a Leine's O deep. No one could blame you for slurring your words.
Well, I mean, come on. And they got it in this like italics cursive. Like it's a little bit tougher.
It is
to
tough.
read.
It's a gold can. It's reflecting all this bright sunshine we have in here.
And to read the whole, I mean, it's so long. To read the whole thing, you got to actually spin the beer.
You haven't read that long since middle school, for Christ's sake. Speaking of,
oh man,
let's get into our theme for today. So that copy, talks about the heritage in Wisconsin, and Joey and I talked about this somewhat on the Miller Lite episode. But you and I went to high school together, so our heritage is kind of growing up in Wisconsin together, but we sort of follow different paths through our times in school.
But we still bleed black and red.
We still bleed black and red. Never forget. Couldn't be prouder.
Can't hear us now. We'll scream a little louder.
Casey and I went to the same high school, as did Joey. Joey was a year older than Casey and I. And Casey was kind of more of a social butterfly in school, so to speak.
Yeah, I mean...
And an imbibing butterfly as well.
Yeah. It was known around town that I like to have fun on the weekdays and the weekends. Mostly back then, weekends. I stuck to the binging on the weekends.
I mean, when you got to be up at like 7:30 to get to school, it's tough to stay up late in the weekdays, right?
Yeah, I did it a few times. Pissed the bed once.
Once?
Well, I pissed the bed numerous times back in high school, but no, I did it. I did one time on my buddy. It was like a Tuesday. We decided to drink some Blue UV. I woke up in the morning at like 5:30. I think I only had like 4 drinks. I couldn't believe it. I thought, there's no way that this just happened. And then I realized, I pissed the bed 4 drinks deep.
And how old were you at the time?
I think then I was probably 16, I would say. But yeah, I mean, it was... I realized right then and there that there might have been an issue here involved.
And it slowed you down ever since?
No, it actually hasn't slowed me down a bit. I actually probably sped her up here in the last, that was 9 years ago. That's ridiculous to even say, but...
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, so I'm 25, and I'm just trying to think. 25, I'm running on about 13, 14 years of drinking. 25.
And what do you think got you started back in the day? Because you probably had your first drink around what, 6th grade or something, 5th grade?
12, I think.
So,
yeah,
6th grade.
6th grade. Yeah. I think what it all started was we had a buddy. We had a buddy whose aunt and uncle decided to leave town, and he's like, "Hey, come on over. I got the house to ourselves." He was like dog watching, getting paid like $50 a day. It was ridiculous. And,
best job you ever had.
Oh, guaranteed. But yeah, and then we're looking all over the house, and we decided, well, there's a pile of liquor in the basement. We may as well have a taste. And a taste we had. So yeah.
So that was the first time you ever drank?
Yeah, that was the first time I ever drank. And it was weird, I'm not going to lie. But yeah, I mean.
And so as you went through school, it just that became a thing you did, right? It was just drinking and partying with friends. Like that was part of your normal.
Well, sadly enough, yeah, but
no, I'm not trying to be negative about it. I'm just saying this is the path you were on in high school.
Yeah, well, that was middle school and
yes. So yeah, tell your 8th grade basketball or 7th grade basketball.
Yeah, so well, I was actually it ended up being I actually got word somehow 3 months after I went to this party. There's someone on the podcast that is very familiar with the story that I'm going to tell, but he's not here right now, so I don't know which one it is. But so they had a party at a buddy's house, and next thing you know, 3 months later, I'm getting called into the office. And
3 months later?
Yeah, 3 months later, getting called into the office, and next thing you know, they're like, yeah, we know you were drinking this date 3 months ago. And I'm like, well, that's ridiculous. I don't know how you know that, but whatever. I went with it, and ended up getting an underage at the ripe old age of 13.
Okay.
Yeah, it was. My parents were not impressed.
So your parents were impressed. Did you feel like was that ever going to stop you from still having the fun you were having?
Sad. No, I mean, I thought, wow, this is fun. Yeah. And the thing about it is the court system didn't help the case any either. I mean, they go, okay, how old are you? 13. oh, you shouldn't be doing that. Here, pay this $30 citation and then go on your way. Do you need 60 days to pay that fine? I'm like, yeah, no, Dad, we got that covered, right? So we went and paid it, and I was like $30 slap on the wrist.
Right.
I could do this, once a week.
Yeah, that's what, 2 cases of beer max?
Right. So I mean, yeah, no, I didn't really slow down that much. That wasn't much of a. I think I maybe didn't drink for a weekend or two. No, I mean, more than that. Hopefully, when I was 13.
Yeah. Well, the stress of a court case can drive anyone to drink. No one could blame you.
Yeah, and then it ended up. I ended up having to sit out 4 games of 8th grade basketball.
That's the best story. I'll tell that to anybody.
Well, yeah,
I had a friend in middle school who had to sit out past 4 games of basketball.
Yeah,
because he had an underage.
And I had all my buddies' parents were asking him like, "Hey, what's the deal with Casey? Why is he sitting out?" And most of my friends had to tell their parents that I was out for bad grades because otherwise they probably would never been able to hang out with me ever again. Like I remember Zach, one of our buddies, he had to tell his old man, "Yeah, Casey's out for grades." He's like, "Oh, has that been an issue with him for a while?" I don't know. I think just this year. But yeah, I look back at it now and I laugh. At the time, I was kind of the laughing stock, I guess. I don't know.
In your own mind, were you mad that it happened or like regretful that it happened?
Yeah, I mean, I had to tell my grandparents because my grandparents came to every single basketball game and they wanted to know. And I wasn't going to say it's because I'm an idiot and I don't know how to,
Yeah, what's worse to admit to your grandparents that you're an idiot or that you're drinking?
But I'm my dad's kid, and my grandparents know how he was, and I think they were like, okay, yeah, I mean, it makes sense. Yeah. This makes sense. You're no dummy, but you're a drunk.
Well, you like to have fun, I think, is the positive way to put it, and probably the more accurate way. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not going to.
I didn't want to turn this into an AA meeting.
I guess I won't classify myself as a drunk. I do like to have beverages.
Because Cold Cans will not support that.
No,
I say drink responsibly is in the fine print under every Cold Cans koozie that we give out.
You're exactly right, and I would not, I would not think anything. I don't know what the fuck I was going to say. I guess
you will not condone heavy drinking.
No, I think I was going to say like.
Oh, you will.
No, I think I was going to say like I would expect nothing less is what I was going to say, but I just couldn't find it.
A couple more Cold Cans, and I think you would find it.
These lighties are doing a number, but
so yeah, the thing that's interesting to me is that it felt like you and I were friends in high school, but I was never a part of the whole party scene in high school. Like I never went to one single party.
Yeah, no.
In fact, I have some entries that you wrote in my yearbook from throughout the years that are in reference to this that I'm not going to read right now because my dad just got home and he's upstairs and there's some off-color language on there. Tune back in to hear those at the end of the pod, folks. But yeah, Casey, you would always give me like jokingly a hard time for never coming to any of these parties and never being a part of it. And I think for me, I was always doing like dumb stuff with my time. I was always like playing like word puzzle games and things like that at my house. I was always doing stuff alone, and I probably would have been better off at a party or two, talking to people and learning how to work a room or whatever it is that you're able to do, because you're able to like talk to people very easily. That's why you're good at marketing and those types of things that you do. Whereas I felt like I couldn't even like talk to people for a long time, and until college when I kind of went down that path of the like party, have a couple beers, loosen up a little bit, helps you recognize that you're all just people who want to talk and have a good time, and there's not the facade of like, this is so serious, I can't approach anyone.
Yeah, but Nick, I will tell you this: you don't reach valedictorian status tipping back on Grandpa's old cough medicine, eh?
I'm glad you mentioned that, and I didn't have to, but yes, folks, I was. Yeah, I mean, it's true. Like, I guess I was focused on that in high school, but I don't think that, not ever going to any party or hanging out with people in that capacity would have totally held me back from doing that.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, obviously, being able to, go to other towns and drink and talk to people.
Meet people, yeah.
Meet people, different people, the people that you don't see every single day.
Yeah.
It has probably helped me out, in my career. But, there's definitely two ways to go about your high school career. And
That's true.
But I will say this: you were one of very few people who maybe didn't go out and drink and party and whatnot that I really did think was funny. And I think I even said this to you in high school. Like you are literally one of the funniest people I know, and it is because it is. And why wouldn't you agree with that? I mean, you are, but it's just one of those things where I would just sit there and you were so smart. So that's one of the things, like, I'm not book smart like that. I'm, street smart is my game, but
Yeah.
but being able to be funny because you are so smart and witty is the comedy that I appreciate most. I laugh at that stuff more than I would laugh at some idiot on Snapchat, getting drunk. And
That's Cold Cans Pod, folks. Find us on
Cold Cans
Snapchat.
Pod. Yeah, so if you want to see one of the two routes, you follow Cold Cans Pod.
Yeah. No, that's good, and I think people will hear when I read the yearbook entry at the end. You mentioned something along those lines in the entry in my senior year yearbook. Let's revisit Leine's O here. How's it going down so far?
It's good. I do enjoy it. It's one of those beers though that I could probably drink a 6-pack, but I probably wouldn't go anymore.
Yeah, it's a little heavy.
That.
It's a little heavy to be drinking all night. That's for sure. Let's take a look at the Beer Advocate stats. This is rated as a 70, which is okay. That's pretty good for just a common lager like this. I think it's a lager. It's got to be a lager, right?
Let's see.
So their website says that in 1988, it won the Bronze Award for American Premium Pilsners. But in 1998, it won the Bronze Award for American Style Premium Lager at the Great American Beer Festival. So I don't know enough about beer classifications to tell us the difference between the Pilsner and the Lager and why it may have changed classifications over a decade. But it's either a Pilsner or a Lager.
I think that's. I think all they're trying to do there is I think they're just trying to double dip into awards here. I think that's really all it is.
Yeah.
One year they put it in the Lager, one year they put it in the Pilsner, and I know for a fact it's better than that smooth Pilsner taste Miller Lite.
Yeah. I mean, that's like when Orange is the New Black is in the comedy section of the Emmys trying to snatch an award away.
Yeah, I do like that show though. So
yeah, cheers to Orange is the New Black.
Yeah, and if you like Orange is the New Black, you will like Wentworth. Many people don't know, but it's a hidden gem in Netflix. I promise.
Oh yeah, Wentworth. All right, check it out, folks. Wentworth. They're a sponsor of the pod. Back to the Beer Advocate. Yes, I said that 70, which is okay. That's one of the higher beers we've drank. Actually, higher rated beers we've drank besides the Eyinger from a few weeks ago.
Eyinger.
Do you want me to? I really just have to butt in here for a second.
Please.
You can cut this. You can do whatever you want with it. But who are these people that are drinking this beer? I don't agree with
the Beer Advocate.
The Beer Advocate. I do not. I haven't agreed with a single one of their. Maybe Miller Lite. I agree with their 60 something, but no one's drinking a C- beer.
I think Joey and I kind of talked about this in the episode on Eyinger, actually, a few weeks ago.
Eyinger.
Maybe I missed that one.
About the episode about expertise and what that means. And the Beer Advocate people, the people who would care enough to rate a beer on a website that prides itself on being the ultimate source for it,
I think you're onto
are
something.
going to be people who are pretty, highfalutin when it comes to beer.
Yeah.
They're going to say, oh, that's piss water.
Right. Yep. I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
I totally agree with that. The people that really care enough to write about.
Right.
Yeah.
They're going to get on their high horse when it comes to the Miller Lights of the world.
Mm-hmm.
That really, I've heard other people say that Miller Lite is, like a feat of modern engineering. The fact that they can get it to that low of calories. So Miller 64 or Bud 55, that's impressive that they can get it that light and still have the alcohol content that it does.
Yep. Pork chop in a can.
Pork chop in a can. What is that?
That's what most people call Miller Lite. Well, especially in central Wisconsin.
Pork chop in a can.
Pork chop in a can.
That one. I like it.
Yeah, no, it's something that it's only Miller Lite. That's all. I mean, no one says Busch Light, pork chop in a can. Like it's Miller Lite.
It's got to be Miller Lite.
Pork chop in a can.
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like a good pork chop?
I think it's the drunks that drink Miller Lite though. That then they go, well, yeah, I haven't ate yet today. But
Oh, sure, yeah.
the pork chop in a can.
Yep.
Here.
The old lady made me a pork chop in a can for dinner tonight.
Yep.
Guess we'll have another one.
Hot off the griddle.
So yeah, for people who don't know, Leinenkugels is, like I said at the top of the show, it's based out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. And it is I believe it's owned by Miller Brewing Company. Yeah,
It is.
It's owned by SAB Miller, which is the kind of conglomerate that is Miller and Anheuser-Busch.
So these beer companies, they just continue to buy each other out. Like I don't understand. Like is there one beer company now in the world?
Pretty much. There's probably like 3. And then, but to be fair, there are a lot of like craft breweries around. You know, Wisconsin has a decent amount, especially down by Madison. There's more and more cropping up. It feels like they pop up in these places where there are a lot of like college educated people who are sick of like a corporate job. So then they're like, we're smart enough to do this. So we brew beer. Same in Seattle where Joey and I are based. There's a lot of craft breweries around, and I think that's a reason for it. But yeah, I mean, you're totally right. I think a lot of these breweries are just bought up by bigger ones, and they take the money. Why wouldn't you?
Right, but I think that's probably why that most of these craft breweries actually end up, you know, the ones that are decent and they're solid, you know, they put out, you know, they could put out one beer, and if that one beer hits, they could throw out 25, you know, pathetic bullshit beers that no one ever cares about. But if that one beer hits, they're still going to make money off of it because people are going to be like, oh man, this is good. Let me try these other ones. And they go, oh, I'll never drink that again, but I'm still going to drink this one.
Yeah. They recognize the brand. They'll try it out. It's true. They have a morbid curiosity about the latest thing and I think Leinenkugels does that too. They're pumping out like watermelon shandies and grapefruit shandies and all that garbage.
Yeah.
They're getting eerily close to like a Mike's Hard Lemonade or a Smirnoff flavored beverage.
But it keeps the antacid companies in business. I'll tell you that. I am the one. I'm the one. I drink one watermelon shandy, and if I don't throw a Zantac or a Rididitine down my throat in 4.5 seconds, my heart will explode. Even though that's not obviously really what heartburn is, but
hey, I'm no doctor. You don't have to. I believe you. All right,
70.
so we covered what?
70. That's that. But the thing about it is, like, I believe
Score, yeah.
Yeah, but I think that's just like I would drink
Is
this
that
beer.
fair?
I don't think so. I think it's just completely unfair because this, to me, a 70. If I'm basing it off of a, you know, I guess I can't really base it off of a grading scale because beer, obviously, if it was a 1, it would be much worse than if it was a 60. Whereas if you have an F, you have an F. You know?
Right.
But I still feel like this is an 85.
Okay.
I really do. I mean, it's a good beer. I mean,
What beers offhand would you rate above this? Just that you've had or that you drink regularly?
I would probably, gosh, I don't know. I mean, I'm a big Sam Adams guy. Sam Adams lager. I mean, that's a solid beer. But it's like that, you know, they kind of got the same. I shouldn't say they have the same taste, but like aftertaste in my mouth is the same between like a Leinie's O and a Sam Adams.
Okay.
But,
so for reference on Beer Advocate, they rate Samuel Adams Boston Lager as an 86.
See, okay,
16 points higher than the Leinenkugels.
Okay, but see, I wouldn't rate it 16. I would put them maybe, you know, I'd put them right next to each other.
Yeah, closer than that.
Right.
I think it, like you mentioned before about branding, I think it has a lot to do
Absolutely.
with that. Like Samuel Adams is very much into the, like, we're widely distributed, but we're still this like small brewer who cares about everything we do. They have those commercials with the brewer like rubbing the hops in his hands and sniffing deeply. I think that has a lot to do with it, especially when it comes to like lagers. Like lagers for people, I think, are already denigrated. Like they're not going to rate them that highly already. And so a beer like this Leinie's O doesn't even stand a chance, but something like Samuel Adams can at least be propped up by that brand where people think they care about things. Right. So the lager, they'll be like, yeah, this is very good beer. So 86 they got.
which is probably 85% people from Boston who are writing on this, because I just feel like that's just how they work.
Yeah, a little homerism in the beer ratings. All right. That was probably the most actual beer talk that has ever happened on the Cold Cans podcast.
Glad to be a part of it.
Joey, yeah, we're glad to have you on. Joey and I usually get off the rails pretty quickly.
That's the best, though. You can't beat that.
Whatever we're talking about. So yeah, folks, that's going to wrap it up. Leine's Original, go check it out if it's available in your area. If not, Summer Shandy by Leinenkugel is available nationwide. They're not good a sponsor. Beer. What do you say?
Good beer.
It is good beer, yeah. Very drinkable if you're out in the sun on a hot day. You want a cold can.
The drinkability is...
off the charts.
Through the roof.
To the dairy mill!
Oh, I couldn't wait for one of them. That's the best.
Got to get it in every episode. All right. What's your tagline going to be? Dialed in? What are you going to do?
Yeah, just get dialed in. I mean, if you, especially, if you're sitting at a bar and you're sitting there, you go, oh man, I'm not sure what I'm going to do tonight. You just get dialed. You might see that a time or two on Cold Cans Pod. Again, follow
Cold Cans Pod on Snapchat. Thanks, folks.
Dialed in.
You still there? Did you stick around after that closing music? You know what's coming up. I'm going to give you a real treat here and read what Casey wrote in my yearbook, both junior and senior year of high school. I think you can really see our friendship come across in the things he wrote. And I will say that there's such a level of love and friendship coming across here that you may want to tune out if you can't deal with that level of love. Some might call it vulgar. Dad, please shut this off right now. Anyway, here is what Casey wrote in my yearbook, junior and senior year. Enjoy. From 2008. Patri, this year has been a show, wouldn't you say? But anywho, maybe I will see you at a party or two this summer if you decide to pull the tam out of your sticky But yeah, next year should be fun for our last year. But yeah, don't be queer and come out next year. Heart, C-Pie. And from 2009. Patri, you rotten motherfucker. I thought your senior year you would have pulled your tampon out, but I guess I was wrong. Besides all that stuff, I had a real great time with you in class. You basically made me laugh all the time. You're the funniest person I think I know because you're so gay and smart. Well, next year you better have some fun times down in Madtown. Call Joey up and piss yourself one night in honor of me. Well, good luck and fuck my hairy ball, you queer motherfucker. Don't let your parents see this. Love, Casey.
I can't believe I wrote that shit in your yearbook.
I know.
What was going through my head? Cunt was just a word that I just always said, I guess.
Yeah. You rotten motherfucker.
And hey, why not one more shot of content here at the end? This is a clip when Casey was talking about the Snapchat story that he had taken at these different drinking festivals, and he tried to post them and none of them went through, and he said he had some great stuff on there. And so here he recounts one of the stories that he was trying to upload to his Snapchat story at Cold Cans Pod, but it didn't go through. Here it is.
I gotta cut down on my bare leg snaps. It's like these people probably think what this is, because I told these people like at Rusty's, like I just want to, every time I talk about it I just get so mad at myself. Because these snaps, like I had a guy, I told you this, I had a guy who literally was in critical care, and he refused to miss Rusty's, and it was like 6 weeks out of critical care, and he's walking around in a straight leg brace with stitches in his arms. Like I had this guy on Snapchat, it was the fucking best. Like, God.